as well as being an amazing human being and a really nice person, Sonya is a life coach. She's a therapist. She's a certified trainer of NLP matrix therapies. And in fact, she's one of a very elite group of 30 qualified, certified trainers in Australia. So again, I think what you're going to learn from Sonya is the power of NLP and what it truly means to dial into your leadership and to, you know, run a better business, whatever that business is. So over to Sonya.
Thank you. So yes, as Karen said, my name is Sonya Furlong and I own the Centre for Life Therapies, it's a one-stop coaching and training company for your mindset, your leadership skills, your emotional intelligence, and your emotional healing, which is a very important part of being the best you can be. To fulfill your true potential, you need to work on yourself. And for me personally, I grew up in a very strict migrant family, in a very humble home in Adelaide. And my parents gave me the option of 3 career choices. I could be a secretary, a teacher, or a nurse. That was it, right? And I hear lately, you know, people who are Indian descent, they're often told that they're forced to be a doctor or something like that. And it's like, well, my parents didn't even make me strive that high, right? Just be a teacher, a secretary, or a nurse. And at one time I said, I want to be a journalist. And my mum was like, no, you can't be. Your brother's a journalist. You can be a secretary, a nurse, or a teacher. So I became a secretary, right? That was the full extent of my ambition. And it's funny, now I am a teacher, which, you know, in a way did come full circle. But I really didn't, oh, hello, Brett, welcome. So I really didn't I didn't realize this at the time, but I didn't have a lot of emotional intelligence at that time. We weren't taught to talk about our feelings or dig deep and strive hard. We're just told to shut up and get on with it, right? Which in itself is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that's given me a strength and resilience. But I was sorely lacking and was looking back, I can see I was living a very small life. So there was, you know, my secretary, then I became mum. I didn't work for a while. And it wasn't until my late 20s that I finally got introduced to personal development. And suddenly, my world just opened up, like the skies opened up and angels sang, and it was like, oh my God, I found something amazing. And suddenly I was told that I could be anything I want to be. Like, from coming from a whole existence where my whole paradigm was you can be one of 3 things, none of them that great, or suddenly being told I could be anything I wanted to be. And so I became a filmmaker. There's my gorgeous family now. And this was my beautiful trainings. But I decided, well, if I'm going to be anything I can be, I'm going to be a filmmaker. And not just any old filmmaker. I'm going to be an award-winning filmmaker. And it took 10 years, but there I am. I won the Australian Academy Award for a film that I produced. Thank you. It was called The Kiss. Just a small film, but well recognised. And then with that film, through the South Australian Film Corporation and the Australian Film Commission, the director, Ashley, and we met at film school and off we went. We travelled the world with this film. We went to Venice, we went to Cannes, we went to Busan. It was just like the most incredible experience. So what it taught me was that it really is all in your head. Whatever your paradigm is now of what is possible, it's just your thinking. That's it. Change your thinking, you literally change your life. So now one of the treasures I discovered, because first I became a coach, and then I became a trainer, because as a coach, it's like I can't influence enough people, like working one-on-one. There's only one of me. I can't spread myself thin enough. So by becoming a trainer, I could reach one to many. And these people here, they're all like just shining brightly. And many of these people are already 6-7 figure business owners. And they just continue to work on themselves because they understand that whatever you're thinking is what you're going to create. So that's what we're going to talk a bit more about. So in my section, we're going to talk about what is emotional intelligence and how to get it, or how to develop it further. What is NLP? We'll leave that till we get to it. Cause and effect, the unconscious mind, aligning head, heart and gut, and clearing limiting beliefs. And we might have a special demonstration of that as well when we get to that. So, what is emotional intelligence? It is something that is very important, but why is it important? So, it is the ability to recognize, interpret, and process emotions in yourself and others. So it's something that seems that we should all be able to do, but actually unless it's really properly taught to you, often we don't have the full range of ability. The good news is emotional intelligence is plastic, flexible, responsive to change, and you can increase your emotional intelligence, which is lovely. That even if you were like me and where you weren't really taught how to cope with life, and you know, you can change that and you can develop your emotional intelligence. So why is it important? For your personal competence and your social competence. How are you coping in day-to-day life? How are you feeling in day-to-day life? Are you feeling generally positive and happy and in control? Or are you on a roller coaster of negative emotions, anxiety, depression, feeling a victim, feeling out of control? This is something that is a sign of low emotional intelligence. It helps you manage stress. A lot of people, and I'm just speaking generally, you know, people can really struggle with stress, and really what feels to them like the end of the world, when they raise their emotional intelligence, they realize actually it's really small stuff. I'm sweating the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. When you raise your emotional intelligence, you realize you've got a much bigger bandwidth for coping with day-to-day stresses. Because let's face it, life is stressful, right? And you don't get to be an adult without a whole ton of, you don't mind me swearing, whole ton of shit happening, yeah? And that's life, and we shouldn't be so surprised when something goes wrong, because that is life. And all we need to do is have the tools to deal with it. It helps you improve relationships. How many people get angry very easily or withdraw and shut down as soon as there's some conflict instead of talking about it? It's a sign of emotional intelligence that needs to be improved. It allows you to have the difficult conversations in a mature manner. How much conflict could be resolved if someone would just pick up the phone and have a conversation, or invite someone around, you know, into their office or wherever and just talk instead of just avoiding or getting very highly emotional. So it allows you to resolve issues and to improve negotiation skills, because let's face it, in business, there's a lot to negotiate. And sales, marketing, staff communication, stakeholders, anything, we need good negotiation and communication skills. So what I've noticed with all the students and clients, particularly I noticed it in the classroom, this is where I started to really think about emotional intelligence. It's like, why is it like, I run these 7-day trainings in leadership, emotional intelligence, communication. Why is it some people absolutely fly through the training, and why is it some people completely find it absolutely challenging and difficult? And what I realized is that there's this spectrum of emotional intelligence. There are some people who are they are not able to access emotions at all. It's just quite, for me, it's quite astonishing, right? But it's true. Some people they cut off from their emotions, that they used it as a strategy at some point in their life. That was a strategy that worked for them, to just disassociate from their emotions, and it worked. And it became a lifelong strategy. And then when you tell them to tell me how you feel, they can't even use words. They can't even explain it to me or tell me where it is in their body. They're so disconnected from themselves. So this is a sign of low emotional intelligence. On the other end of the spectrum, people who are highly emotional all the time. You may know someone like that in your life. So these people, I had one, I was talking to a lady recently, and she's like, well, I have very high emotional intelligence because I'm very aware of my emotions, and I am anxious and overwhelmed all the time, right? It's like, actually that means that you may have an awareness of your emotions, but you don't yet have a strong emotional intelligence to deal with whatever is causing this anxiety and overwhelm, right? So there's some people that's like everything is very dramatic and very emotional, and they're on this total, actually I used to be like this before I got into my personal development, this roller coaster of just feeling like the world is going to crack open and I'm going to fall in and disappear. And then, you know, sometimes I was like, oh, high as a kite on life, and then it's like, and just enjoying, oh my God, everything's so amazing, and then crash, everything's despair and depression and anxiety. It's actually a sign of low emotional intelligence. It's not how life needs to be at all. And there's a lot that we can do about it. The middle ground is where we want to be. We can feel our emotions, we can access them, but we can also regulate them and control them, yes? So this is the work that we do to create that emotional intelligence. So signs of low emotional intelligence: you're afraid of certain emotions, or you repress or deny your emotions. You feel ashamed to show emotion in public. And again, we're not talking about out of control, hysterical emotion. We're just talking about any emotion in public. You consider emotions a sign of weakness. You are easily affected by other people's emotions. Or you are often highly emotional. Or, on the negative side, you use emotions to manipulate others, right? People who are sometimes very disconnected with their emotions actually don't have that compassion to really treat others carefully, right? All these are signs of low emotional intelligence. So what do we do about it? So in NLP, which stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and I will talk more about that shortly, we say that the person with the most flexibility of behaviour will master the system. So the more emotional expansion and bandwidth you have, the more ability you have to express emotion and control emotion, to feel things and also regulate them, and to be able to have difficult conversations and to be able to have other fun conversations when required. All these things are going to make you master the system, whatever the system is. It could be the place you work, or your own business, or your own family even. So that's what we do with all the techniques that we do over our 7-day training, is we teach ways that people can become more flexible in their behaviour. Better emotional intelligence, better leadership skills, better communication skills. So, and NLP increases your emotional intelligence. So I hear you asking, what is NLP? Who has never heard of NLP before today? Awesome. So NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And it is basically, in a sentence, the study of success. And there's principles of success that you can then apply to your life, which is pretty handy. It's like the instruction manual for life. You know, when we're born, wouldn't it be nice to have an instruction manual to tell you how to live your life? There isn't one until you come and study NLP. So NLP teaches us how to think, how to speak, and how to behave. So neuro are your thinking processes. of the way you think and also the way you interact with your senses and that mind-body connection. And linguistic are the words you use and the power which those words have. And it's also not only the words you say to others, but perhaps even more importantly, the words you say to yourself. That self-talk. And often, and science says 80% of our thoughts are negative, right? That comes in with the packaging, right? That's just how we're born, right? With these negative thoughts. So often our self-talk is holding us back and we don't even realize it. And programming is your behavior, your actions, your external manifestation of your thoughts and words. So if you work on any one area of your life, of those 3 areas, you're going to improve your life. And in NLP, we work on all 3 areas at once to have maximum impact in the shortest amount of time. In 7 days, you can experience a completely life-changing experience. Yeah, I think you would agree. So why NLP? Believe it or not, you have been programmed your whole life. We think we're such independent thinkers, that we are so unique, and that, the way we think no one else has ever thought before, right? But sorry to break it to you, we've been programmed by our society. And you know how you can tell? All you have to do is go travel to a different country with a different culture and see their programming is very different from your programming. But in general, they all kind of have one paradigm of belief, and in our culture, we have one structure of belief, right? Because it's all programmed. And so wouldn't it be nice to unpack the patterns and the programming, and we decide what we want to keep and what we want to throw away as not valuable to us. So NLP unpacks these patterns and gives you a deeper understanding of your own patterns of behavior and allows you to create patterns that are more useful for you. So you can choose, you can be in control of your life, of your emotions, of your relationships, of how you travel and progress in your life. NLP allows you to communicate effectively, diffuse conflict, influence others in a positive way, and be empowered to make the choices that you want. So how do we become empowered? I'm going to give you one quick, simple life hack that will allow you to be empowered in any situation from this day forward. Would you like that? Yes. Awesome. Great. So it is the concept of cause and effect. Every action, everything you do has an effect. Even if you do nothing, that's having an effect. That's right. Let me tell you a story about William James, the father of psychology. He was before Freud and Jung. He was the one who wrote 2 big fundamental volumes about what psychology is, way back, right, in like the 1800s. And he was a man who, as a child, he'd been very sickly and he missed a ton of school because he was always sick. And then at uni, he kept failing and dropping out because he was always sick. So, for whatever reason, he thought it would be a really great idea for someone who's always sick to go on a trek in the Amazon jungle, right? As you do. And this is way back in the 1800s, right, where medicine and all that was even worse than it is now, right, or not as advanced as it is now. So off he goes to the South America and goes off to the Amazon jungle, and he almost dies of sickness, right? And he got smallpox and the whole trek went off without him, and he was there for months and months trying to get better. And he came back to his home and he was done with life, completely, utterly done with life. And he decided he wanted to end his life. But he thought, okay, well, I can do that later. First of all, First of all, I'm going to make a decision. And for the next 12 months to the day, I am going to be 100% responsible for every thought, decision, and action I make. 100% responsible for everything I say, do, think, feel, and whatever. And in that 12 months, he completely transformed his life. Completely. His health improved. He got married. He ended up having 5 children. They all became extremely successful. One of them was Henry James, the great author. And he went on to develop this whole foundation of psychology. His books got translated into multiple languages, and he just became this incredible influence for millions of people. Just by understanding that he was the cause of the effects in his life. And he looked at his life and he said, my life sucks. And he finally decided, I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to blame, not even going to blame my body, because I'm going to take full responsibility for my body and for the way people are treating me and for all the missed opportunities. I am going to take responsibility for that. So that is cause and effect. We call it above the line or below the line thinking. So you can either have the results you want or excuses, but you can't have both. So we can either be at the effect side of the equation, which is the excuses, or be the cause of everything you create. Consciously create your life. And that is always our choice. So if you moment by moment go and consciously create your life, consciously create the kinds of conversations you're going to have today, and the goals that you're going to have, and your morning rituals and your evening rituals, and how you show up in your work and day, can you imagine that's going to have a very powerful effect on your life? I'll never forget when I had severe depression in my 30s, and I went to a life coach actually, and that's why I became a life coach, because of her and another coach that I had who also saved my life. And I'll never forget, she said to me, if you can put that much energy into being depressed, you can put that much energy into getting better. And it worked. From that moment on, I took 100% responsibility for every thought I thought. And oh my God, it was dark in there, right? So every single thought I had to rewire when I was like, I hate my life, I love my life, I just want to die, I just want to live, on and on, every single thought. And then it was like, oh wow, I've gone 5 minutes without a negative thought. And I've gone 1 hour without a negative thought. And then it was like half a day without a negative thought. And then it was a whole day. And then it was like, oh my God, I've gone a whole week. I feel amazing. And my life just transformed in that time. And it really, you know, it actually only took several weeks for that to happen. When I took 100% responsibility for every single thought that I thought. That's how fast we can change when we take the power back. So that is cause and effect. So here are above the line and below the line. You see the qualities of someone who lives above the line, who is at cause for their creation. Their actions, solutions, acceptance of what is, and then making the decision to change the results. They're the hero of their own story. They have love. They're not full of hate and resentment. They're open and compassionate. They take feedback. They take full responsibility. They know that everything is their choice. They respond. They have clarity, abundance, and above all else, hope. As opposed to when someone is below the line, where they focus on their failure, their fears, they have a victim mindset. They focus on their excuses and judgment of self and others. They focus on the problems, which leads to procrastination. They blame others for their problems. They're stuck, they're reactive, they're full of uncertainty. They have a scarcity mindset, and what's worse, they feel hopeless. So, where would you rather be? Above or below? Above. And it is a moment by moment choice, yes. You know, even those of us who work on ourselves all the time, sometimes we slip down, yeah, and it's up to us to pull ourselves back up, yeah. So that's one hack. If you just did this and nothing else, your life will change. So the extent to which you believe that you create everything that happens to you gives you maximum power to create things the way you want them. And it is that moment by moment choice. Cool. Is that helpful? Awesome.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Now, what about all that negative self-talk that we're not even consciously aware of? What about all of that stuff? What do we do with that? So, how our unconscious mind drives our behaviour. So this image, one of my favourites, the iceberg image, that says everything here. This is a representational metaphor of your mind, right? Freud compared the mind to an iceberg. So we have our conscious mind above the waterline, and that is, according to the latest neuroscience, only 4% of your mind. So all this stuff, all the logic, reasoning and rational thought and focus, that's coming from 4% of our mind. So what's happening in the unconscious, and when we say unconscious or subconscious, right, same, it's not that it is unconscious, right? It is very conscious. We are unconscious of it, right? Our little conscious 4% conscious mind is unconscious, unaware of what's going on below the waterline. So and the conscious mind is the goal setter. We've consciously set our intentions. Then the unconscious mind, the vast 96%, is the domain of our memories, our emotions, our habits, instincts, and it is the goal getter. I could talk about this for an hour, but I won't. But it enjoys serving the conscious mind, but it does need clear instruction, right? If you say, I want a job, your unconscious mind will go, oh, let's look for opportunities for jobs. There's one for $10 an hour. I'll give them that. I'll show them that, right? Or I want a relationship. There's plenty of relationships around that you could have, but you've got to be very specific what type of relationship you want, or the unconscious mind's just going to get you whatever's convenient. So we've got to be crystal clear in our goal setting so that we can attract the goals that we want. So all of this, emotions, memories, instincts, habits, all of this stuff is churning away in our unconscious mind and is actually driving a lot of our behaviour. We may have like any kind of compulsive behaviour or phobias, anything like that. All of that is coming from memories that are in the unconscious mind that you've consciously forgotten. You might have a fear of public speaking, and then when you go in, and there's processes that we do, and we're going to demonstrate one later, you go in and you ask the unconscious mind, when did this first begin? And it's some event when you were small, when you were ridiculed in primary school, and you don't even consciously remember that day, but that your unconscious mind remembers. And so it's triggering every time then you're put in a position of judgment, it triggers that old memory of feeling humiliated and embarrassed, and then you don't want to public speak. So the good news is that you can do things about it now. We can remove those blocks so that the conscious mind and the unconscious mind are going in the same direction. Because it's like, you know, you've got the little, if you imagine a big semi-trailer, you've got the little 4% conscious mind, and you've got this giant 96% unconscious mind hooked on the back. Imagine if the unconscious mind has its own mind, its own negative direction that it's trying to protect you from, and you're thinking, but I'm going to run a 7-figure business, and I'm going to be a TED Talk speaker, and I'm going to do all this, and that's only 4%, your 96% unconscious mind is going, I'm not doing that. There's no way. When I was 3, I was ridiculed. There's no way I'm going to put myself in that position again. Who's going to win? 4% or 96%? 96%, yeah? And that's why we have a lot of self-sabotage in our lives and a lot of inner conflict. And we're wondering why we're not getting the results that we want. I'm doing all my affirmations, I'm setting my goals. Why is it not working? Because if it's not working, we need to look what is under the waterline. What is in this vast ocean of the unconscious mind that is stopping us from? And it does it to protect us, but it's not always necessary now to be protected. We're not 3 anymore, right? We can protect ourselves. So we need to heal that stuff to move forward. Does that all make sense? Yeah. Beautiful. So, neuroscience. Neuroscience is the best thing since sliced bread for me. I've been teaching meditation and these kinds of techniques like for 30 years. And it was always like, oh, I don't believe in meditation. There's no scientific proof that meditation exists. It's like, just try it and you'll see it works, right? But now there is so much science that confirms that all of this stuff is real. That all the manifestation woo-woo, it's all real. Yes, Dr. Tara Schwartz has written a book called The Source. She's a neuroscientist, but she's also very spiritual. So she's bringing the two together, showing how there's science for all of what we think is woo-woo, which is such a relief. Right? So what neuroscience has told us is that the same neural pathways that are in our brain that quantify our intelligence, the same neural pathways exist in our heart and exist in our gut. So you can follow your heart. You can trust your gut because there's actual intelligence in there. So who has ever gone against their heart or their gut and regretted it? I think we've all experienced that, yeah? We don't need science to tell us that, oh, I should have listened to that feeling, right? We know that, damn, that feeling was telling me. I couldn't see any conscious evidence of why I should trust that. It looked all okay on paper, but something was telling me, don't do it, and I did it, and God, I regret it now, yeah? I think many of us have had that experience. So it's because there is absolutely intelligence in these 3 areas, not just one, in 3. So the most powerful decisions are when your head, heart and gut are all aligned. So, because you may have noticed if anyone's been in corporate or working in that with other people, there are so many leadership models out there, right? There's so much external structure to teach people how to function as a unit and how to master, that behavioural flexibility. But none of these things are working until we develop the internal ability to not just make decisions from the dry logical head, not just make decisions with just emotion, but to make both, make a decision that combines the logic of the head and the intuition, the feelings in our heart and gut. Yes? And that is what is missing in leadership at the moment. It's all just external structure. When what we really need to do is start to realise that our bodies are giving us information that is crucial to our decision making. So an effective leader combines head, heart and gut. So there is the head, which has the clarity and creativity, the insights, and oh my God, we could do this and we could do that, right? And then the heart has the compassion for self and others, which we need when we're making decisions, because we can't just make decisions that you know, so many decisions now in companies, oh, but it meets the bottom line, right? Oh, but we save money this way, without actually having a compassion for what our decisions are affecting others. And we need that gut energy, that gut intelligence, because that gives us the courage to move forward. That's what mobilizes us to take the action, to do what needs to be done. So when we have our head and heart aligned, we can be of service to others. We'll have great ideas and we'll have compassion to serve others in the highest way. And when we have the compassion in our heart and the courage to do something about it, we are a compassionate leader. And when we have the courage in our gut and the clarity and creativity of our head aligned, we can take decisive action. That's going to make a real difference. And when all of these are combined, we are living our true purpose. Because how many people are kind of like, I know I'm here for a purpose. I know I'm here to do important work, but I'm just too scared. I'm too scared to really get started. I'm too scared to speak up. I'm too scared to quit my job and try and start a business, right? So when we have all of these aligned, then we can live our true purpose, because we are all here for a purpose. We are here to make a difference in some way. And so when our head, heart and gut are aligned, we can go out with confidence and clarity and compassion and make that difference. So this is what we want to achieve. So who would like to have their head, heart and gut aligned today? Awesome. Not everyone? Okay. Awesome. So we will do a nice short meditation just to focus on these areas and get a bit of awareness to them. So I'm going to put some music on, and I want you, if you've got a particular decision that you're trying to make at the moment, then you could use that for this meditation. If you've got a decision to make or some action that you want to take and haven't been able to, that you're in two minds about it or something like that, then think about that when we do this meditation. So I want you to get super comfortable. Can you hear that? Music's very quiet, isn't it? Make that a bit louder. Okay. All right. So what I'd like you to do now, feet flat on the floor, palms resting. You're all in position. I didn't even have to say it. You know exactly what to do. And just take a beautiful deep breath in. And on the exhalation, just close your eyes. Breathe out. And take some lovely, slow, deep breaths in and out. And I'd like you to regulate the breath to 6 counts in and 6 counts out in your own time. Science has shown that this pattern of 6 counts on the in-breath and 6 counts on the out-breath balances the autonomic nervous system. So we have a sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And if we're feeling extreme emotion or anxiety, these systems are out of whack. And when we take time to just slow breathing, 6 counts in and 6 counts out, we regulate the nervous system, we calm everything down, we can reduce our anxiety in just a matter of minutes. So whenever you're feeling stressed, just find a quiet place for a couple of minutes where you can do this slow, regulated breathing and just notice your anxiety melt away. Now, I'd like you, as you continue to breathe deeply, we're going to start focusing on the heart center, because it's in between the head and the gut, and so this is the part of compassion for self and others. So it's important that we bring the heart into every decision we make. So just focusing on the heart space, breathing into it, filling it with love and compassion for yourself and others. And especially if you have a particular decision in mind, just sending out that love and compassion to anyone who is involved in this decision. And on the exhalation, bring that love and compassion back to yourself. I know that might feel uncomfortable if you've never done that before, but just be willing to experience it and to try it. Now I'd like you to breathe in up to your head, that area where all insights and great thoughts come, clarity and creativity. And breathe in and feel the expansion and clarity on the in-breath, and on the out-breath, feel that sense of certainty as you settle on thoughts, knowing that whatever decision you finally make, it's going to be the perfect one. And now on the next inhalation, come back down to the heart. Gather up that compassion for self and others, thinking about that decision that you're wanting to make, and bringing in the love and compassion so it's good for you, good for others, and good for the greater good. Breathing in and out. And now bring your focus down to the gut, the area where you're going to take the action from, where you get the courage to stand up for what's right, to stand up for what needs to be done. That gives you that action and energy and mobility to express what your head and heart have come up with. And now bring that awareness back to your heart and feel into the heart. How does this feel, balancing it out, knowing with that compassion that whatever decision you come to is going to be the perfect one for this situation. And so now, just as you're breathing in, just do that infinity symbol, that figure 8, one more time, up to the head, check in, make sure it's clear, back to the heart, grab the compassion, down to the gut, grab the courage to take the action, and then come back and finish and land in the heart. Well done. And when you're ready, come back into the room and open your eyes. How was that? Tell me how that felt. Just bringing the awareness to all and guiding it through the 3 main centers of our intelligence. Good. So, what do we do then when we know we wanting to make powerful, important decisions, and we're trying to be courageous, and we're trying to be clear, and we're trying to be compassionate, but we keep sabotaging ourselves, and we keep procrastinating and not taking action and not doing what we know we've been put on this planet to do. What is happening there? So that means that in your unconscious mind, there are some, we call them limiting beliefs. They are limiting you. There's some unconscious belief usually around your self-worth. I'm not good enough. Who's going to want to listen to me? Who's going to want to pay me for what I want to do? Right? Who am I to live my dream? I'm nobody special. My parents told me I'd never amount to anything. Yeah? These live, even if we grow up and we go, I know better than that. But tell that to your little inner child who was 5 years old when your dad said you'll never amount to anything. And you may consciously know better, but your unconscious is still remembering that event. And so it creates this sabotage, this inner conflict, this inability to move forward and truly have the expression of your business and your full potential. So once we become aware of these, and we know that all of this comes from our past, and it's your unconscious mind, it's like Netflix in there. Everything that has ever happened to you is in there. All the comedies, all the dramas, right? Sometimes some horror shows, they're all in there. And the amazing thing is your unconscious mind is your mind. So if you want to know the answer, all you've got to do is ask it. When was the first event where I had low self-esteem? Oh, there it is. And then you need to have the process to be able to release it and clear it. So we do that with what is called matrix therapies, a beautiful, elegant, simple technique that doesn't need 10 years of talk therapy. Tell me about every single time you were angry in your life and go and relive the anger every session after session after session. You don't need to do that. You just need in one session, ask your unconscious mind, when was the first event when you were angry? Oh, okay, it was when you were 2 or whatever. Go back to that event, give that little 2-year-old self some love and some resources, and then integrate that 2-year-old back into you, and you'll feel it clears all the events. Because if your 2-year-old had the resources to not get angry or to respond differently, then that 2-year-old would respond differently when they're 3, 4, 5, right up to today. And that would change the course of your life, yes? If you reacted differently to different situations, your life would be different. So matrix therapies, we use the power of the unconscious mind to go right back to the beginning, clear the limiting decisions there, and then you'll feel now, if you felt, oh, well, I can't speak up, and then you go find out, well, why do I feel that? Oh, it's because something that happened when I was small, and then you heal it, and now here as an adult, you're like, I'm ready to speak up. There's nothing stopping me now, right? Because now the truck and the whole semi-trailer are going in the same direction. Does that make sense? So if you're feeling in your business that, or your career, that it's not going to plan, and you don't know you don't know what to do about it, there could be some self-sabotage, some inner conflict to clear out so that everything can move in the same direction. So, who has a limiting belief that is sabotaging their business success? And I know, Vicky does. And a limiting belief is any belief or decision that limits you, right? I'm not good enough. No one wants to listen to me. I'm boring. I can't speak up. You know, I'm not smart enough. All these things, yeah. These are all limiting beliefs. They're not true. They're just a belief or a decision that you accepted at some point in your life. And it's stopping you from being the person that you really, truly are dreaming and desperate to become. So who would like to see a clearing of a limiting belief right here, live, on stage? Okay, awesome. So Vicky studied, she did 7-day practitioner NLP, and she did master practitioner, as has Amir. And I know that you've been working on starting your coaching business.
Yes, I have.
Yes, which is fabulous. And what beliefs or decisions do you feel have impeded your progress, sabotaged your success?
I guess the big ones that come up if anyone else is also starting their own thing on their own adventure. Probably big ones for me is, why should anyone listen to me?
Mm-hmm.
Am I good enough?
Mm-hmm.
Who would want to pay me?
Mm-hmm. These are all great.
Would they believe in what I'm actually saying?
Yeah, right.
Have I got the backing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, to anyone in the room?
Anyone relates? Anyone?
Alone.
There's no. There is lots of nods going on in the room. Okay, so why would anyone listen to me?
That's probably the big one.
That's a good one. Shall we start there?
Yeah.
Let's do that one. Okay.
Amazing. You won't be able to shut me up there.
Awesome. All right. Now, so we're going to be doing this, right? So this is really literally live. I don't know what her first event is. I don't know what's going to come up or anything. So we just ask that you really, we call it in coaching, hold the space. That you just be here with your love and compassion, holding the space for us as we do this, and just watch and see what happens. Yeah. Are we all good with that? Awesome. Great. All right, my dear. So when you say, why should anyone listen to me? How do you know you have that belief?
Because I hear it.
Right.
I always hear it.
Right.
It's just before I'm maybe going to, propose something to a client.
Right.
Or, even put something onto my Instagram page.
Right.
I'm going, why is anyone actually going to listen to me?
Right. And when you say that to yourself, where do you feel it in your body?
I'm feeling it right now kind of here.
Right, like chest and shoulders.
Chest and shoulders, and I'm feeling a bit shaky in my hands, to be honest.
Yeah, right, I can see that. Yeah. And that's coming not from nerves of being up
No,
here.
no,
That's actually...
that's the one. I'm not actually nervous.
That's just from
it's
thinking.
Me.
Yeah, why should anyone listen to me? Yeah, well, okay. And these feelings in your chest and shoulders, how would you describe them?
It's like they're going hard, like they're closing in.
Closing in, right, okay.
It's like there's a hardening there. And
hardening. And how strong are these feelings out of 10 right now?
I'd probably say an 8 or a 9.
Okay, so they're very strong.
Yeah, it's almost like someone's like in a box, going back in. Like,
right, telling like telling you, or
Yeah.
you feel like you're...
Like there's a box
right,
closing down.
right, okay.
Which is probably why it feels hardening.
Right, okay.
Shush, Vicky, shush.
Right.
Who wants to listen to you?
Okay. So these feelings, 8 to 9 out of 10, which are very strong, you would know if they were gone, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So just close your eyes and just breathe into these feelings. And ask your unconscious mind, is it okay to release this limiting belief? Why would anyone listen to me? And for you to have a certain experience of it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So now, trusting your unconscious mind, what is the first event which, when learnings are gained, will cause this limiting belief, why should anyone listen to me, disappear? If you were to know or guess, was it before or after conception?
After.
Was it in the womb, during birth, or after you were born?
After I was born.
And what was the first age you experienced this belief?
I'm seeing a 5 come up.
5, thank you for trusting. So now I'd like you to float out into the past and come down and stand next to your 5-year-old self and let me know when you're there. Good. Now ask your 5-year-old self, what's going on? Why do you believe that? Why should anyone listen to me?
She's sitting there quietly, but there's fighting going on around her.
Okay. Right. She...
I think Mum and Dad are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wanting she's wanting things to stop,
Okay.
but nothing's coming out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Now ask your 5-year-old self, is it okay if she comes with you now to gain some more resources to let go of this limiting belief? Why should anyone listen to me? Good. So gently take her by the hand and float well before this event or any of the chain of events that led to this event, and float way up high and float so high up that you come to that beautiful hue of light between this world and the next, and enter into this hue of light where all love, light, healing, wisdom and understanding reside, which will assist and support you through this process. And let me know when you're there. Beautiful. Now ask your little 5-year-old self, what resources does she need or want to release this limiting belief? Why should anyone listen to me?
She wants people to stop and look at her.
Yes, good. What else?
Some silence.
Yes. What else?
I'm hearing grace, but I don't know why.
Oh,
Grace.
lovely. Beautiful. What else does she need or want?
Love and compassion.
Yes.
A smile.
Yes.
I don't know why that-
Good. Thank you for trusting. What else?
She wants kindness,
Yes.
security,
Yes.
some peace.
Yes. Is that everything she needs to release this limiting belief?
I'm seeing her hands. It's almost like a hug.
Yes. Yes. Anything else?
It's like she wants to sing.
Lovely. Good. Anything else?
No.
Beautiful. So now see an infinite source of love, light, healing, wisdom and understanding pouring through the top of your head and filling you up until you feel completely whole and healed. And see it overflowing out of your heart and filling up your 5-year-old self so that she is completely whole and healed too now. And give her all of these resources, people to stop and look at her, silence, grace, love and compassion, a smile, kindness, security, peace, a hug, and to sing. And allow her to feel completely whole and healed now. Now, does she have any understanding, insight, or advice for the present you?
She's saying, go on,
Go on.
go on.
What else?
You know you have this.
Mm-hmm.
Sing,
Mm-hmm.
talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from the right place.
Mm-hmm.
You have got a voice.
Mm.
And she's saying shine, which is similar to what my mum normally says. So it's funny that she's saying it. So
Shine.
shine.
Shine. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Is that everything she's saying?
She just said, I love you.
Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous. Anything else?
That's it.
Beautiful. So now see that infinite source of love, light, healing, wisdom and understanding pouring through the top of her head, filling her up so she is completely whole and healed, and overflowing out of her heart and into you and giving you this message. Go on. You know you have this. Sing, talk. It's coming from the right place. You have a voice. Shine, and I love you. And allow yourself to be completely whole and healed now with all of your resources in place. And now give her a big cuddle. Tell her you love her, that you're proud of her, and have her merge into you and grow up to be the person you are today with all of these resources in place. And see yourself bathed in your own spotlight of love, light, healing, wisdom and understanding until you feel completely whole and healed. Now, go back to that event when you were 5, but as your fully healed and integrated self, and ask yourself, how do I feel now in this event that is different to how it was in the past?
No one's screaming.
Ah, beautiful.
It's like she's suddenly grown. She's there, she's having people are listening.
Oh, great.
She's not hidden away.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And has that old limiting belief disappeared now?
Yeah.
Amazing.
People are listening.
Good, good. Excellent. So coming out of that event and coming back to now, releasing all the old negative beliefs and emotions and replacing it with your new resources, your new wisdom and knowledge and clarity of who you are and how your voice is listened to and valued and coming from the right place. And when you're ready, come back into the room and open your eyes. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, beautiful. How are you feeling now in the shoulders and chest?
I feel like everything's just gone like...
Yeah, your whole shoulders have opened up and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, right. And how do you feel when you said you felt like there was this box closing in?
Yeah, there's no box.
No box. Good.
There's no box. which
Good.
is brilliant.
Good. So, now when you think of times in the past where you had not spoken up because you're like, who's going to listen to me? How do you think about those times now?
I'm going to talk.
Good.
Yeah.
And so moving forward, what's going to be different now that you know that what you say matters?
I'm going to go do it. I'm going to talk. I'm going to share it because I know it's right.
Good.
And I can't even say the word of what could be a question mark about it. It's
Yeah, right.
now like, well, of course I'm going to talk.
Great.
Yeah.
So
Why would I not?
Why would you not?
Yeah.
So some Facebook Lives or something? Are we going to start
Definitely,
seeing some
yeah.
things? Awesome. I look forward to seeing them.
I will bring those out.
Great. Give her a big round of applause. Well done. That was my pleasure.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
get my notes.
Yes.
Yay.
Well
Brilliant.
done.
Thank
Beautiful. So, any questions or comments?
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
sorry,
you.
do you want me to?
Thank you for
Yes.
yes.
It's an honour to have a clearing by you.
My pleasure. Thank you for volunteering.
How many clearing session times do it, or do you have to clear out every belief section?
Yeah, so we always start with clearing all our negative emotions. Like there's 6 umbrella emotions: anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, shame. So we like to clear those 6. And then all the limiting beliefs, and there's so many, right? And so just whenever they come up and you're realizing, hey, this is sabotaging me, you get it cleared. Yes. Yes. So, in my summary, so if this is something, and I will just offer this to you as well if it is of interest to you. So if you are struggling with confidence to build your business or your career to the level of your dreams, or you're struggling with the confidence to be a speaker and a thought leader, or charging what you're worth, or are you having regular conflicts, often feeling angry or misunderstood by others? Or do you have mental health issues of anxiety, depression, and low self-worth? If so, then maybe this program that I offer may be for you. Here are some other students of mine who've just done it.
Thank you very much to Sonya.
Thank you, Sonya.
Thank you, Sonya.
Sonya, thank you for the course.
I gained great insights into myself and the concerns which are holding me back.
The biggest gain for me is I feel like I have transformed into a totally different person.
What I've gained from the course is an understanding of myself, how to help others with the tools that you've given me.
The main gain I've had has been a clarity in the direction that I want to take my life now, and I now have a clear picture of where I want to go.
The clearing of the negative beliefs and emotions was awesome.
It's been the removal of the blocks I've had in my life that have prevented me going forward as I've wanted to.
The breakthroughs that I've had is probably one of the biggest things in my past life. Not knowing, not understanding, and now having a very clear where everything's come from, where and why everything's been happening.
I've learned new techniques how to help people further, and that's a real benefit to me.
And pursue this newfound passion of mine. This is going to change my life from here on.
Understand yourself better. You understand the others more. It's all, what I've gained is what other people will gain, in my opinion, from it, because it's so clear. It's so, it's just so clear.
This is something everybody should do. I would highly recommend this course to anybody. It's been a thoroughly worthwhile exercise, and if you haven't done it, you absolutely need to do it.
It'll change your life. Thank you very much.
So, my invitation to you is to develop your emotional intelligence, develop your leadership skills, develop your communication, heal your self-sabotage and inner conflict with a certified practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming and matrix therapies. So it is 7 glorious days of introduction to NLP concepts, learning how to change habits quickly. Are you getting angry in traffic for no reason? Are you biting your nails? Or are you just doing something that you just like, I just want to stop doing this and I can't? We'll do this on this day, day 2. And then anchoring, be in control of your emotional state at all times, whenever you need it to wire it the way you want it to be. Then we spend a whole glorious day in the ocean of language, learning how to use language in very powerful ways. And then understanding our strategies, and we look at people's buying strategies, decision and sales strategies. And then what we did here today with Vicky, that the deep emotional work, because it's all of that stuff that's running wild in our unconscious mind is affecting our emotional intelligence. And if we can just clear it down, just calm those waters down so that everything just functions. My wish is that everyone just wakes up feeling good, right? I know what it's like to be on a horrendous emotional roller coaster, and I know what it's like to wake up to a quiet lake of my mind rather than a tumultuous tsunami. So, and all you need to do is clear. And you saw how quick it was, right? You just saw. So, and then we clearing anxiety, goal setting, all of that. So, lots of wonderful testimonials, and maybe later I'll ask Amir and Vicky to say something too. Not quite yet. I'll wait. I want to hear from Karen. So then my next training is in August, September in Crow's Nest. And all career types, right? I've got engineers, lawyers, journalists, migration lawyer, Mary Maloney, an injury lawyer. Every type of profession benefits from working on themselves. So it's 7 days of training, it's $6,995, including manuals plus all the 24 hours of pre-learning. It is an $8,385 course. And you'll see on my website, in my info pack, I charge $4,000 plus GST for the course. But just only for today, because we're doing this whole event with Karen, that we've combined our forces. And so just for today, it's $3,000 plus GST. So that gives you a certified qualification And I have to tell you, most NLP courses are not certified, right? This is actually one of the internationally certified and insured qualification. So I will leave that with you. Was there any questions? We'll have more time later for questions as well. So it's my hope that you've enjoyed what you've heard so far today, and the best is still coming. We've got the wonderful Karen Matthews. So shall we have, everyone want to just have a quick break, just quick stretch legs, go to the bathroom, grab a tea, coffee, and then it'd be my pleasure to introduce Karen Matthews to you. Okay, thank you.
So my name is Vicky DeRocha, and I've just attended the event, and it was enlightening. So my words by Sonya, if you're wanting someone to teach you how to open up your heart, your mind, to make you understand more than you've ever understood about yourself before, she's your woman. The stuff that I've learned through her courses, it's made me realize that I should have done this a long time ago, because if I don't understand how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, and why are those voices in my head, you're never actually going to progress or get anywhere. You're going to stay stuck where you are. So the most enlightening thing is that you get to experience that with her in such a beautiful way. The two together, heart and mind, perfect.
My name is Suraj, and I'm from Peggy's Bookkeeping. It was a lot of messes and obviously the great ones, and from what I got from Sonya, it's all about developing your emotional intelligence and then connecting with more people. And I mean, I've been wanting to attend one of Sonya's class for a long time. I've known for 1.5 years now, and there was never a right time, but I'm really glad that I made time for it today, and it came with the bonus Karen Matthews business coaching sessions as well. So it is great to attend this session today. It is amazing.
Hi, I'm Amir Meshel from Sydney. So Sonya's NLP presentation was really good because first of all it went through step by step what you can do, why you should do it, and who it's for. The second thing I loved was that just the visuals on it were just so speaking to me. So if you're a visual person or you're an auditory person, sometimes you go into a presentation and you're missing half of what's given to you because it's not in your modality. Sonya was great because she covered both the visual and the auditory, which meant that for different learning styles, you can pick things up that normally you might just let drift off the wayside. Excellent presentation, really enjoyed it. Sonya and Karen, thank you so much. This was very eye-opening and a refreshing turn to what a lot of people are just paying lip service to. What I loved about the both of you is that you implement, you do, you succeed, you track, and then you teach all the company secrets. I love it. Thank you again for today.